Moving on, plans for exiting the IMF program measures improving macroeconomic indicators, tax efficiency, and the avoidance of fiscal slippages this election year must dominate the mid-year budget review. That's the call from the financial analyst to government as the finance minister, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, prepares to present the half-year budget in Parliament next week. More in the following report.
The government has hinted that it will not request a supplementary budget or introduce additional taxes. Rather, it will stick to financial prudence as elections approach. This is based on what it believes is sustained economic progress and a commitment to avoid overspending post-COVID-19. Economic measures, it says, are showing positive results with signs of stabilization and recovery in the Ghanaian economy. When then Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta presented the 2024 budget last year, many questioned his "we have turned the corner" assertion. But today, institutions like the IMF and World Bank have revised their GDP and other economic forecasts for Ghana upward, citing effective policy implementation, especially in controlling inflation. With these developments, some financial analysts say they expect the government to announce its IMF exit plan in the half-year budget. Professor Patrick Esumin is a finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School.
So the expectation is also that, there will be some announcement that the government will spend within what has been approved already, and that there shouldn't be any new additional spending requests. I think beyond that, I wish that the finance minister will tell us what the roadmap is beyond the current IMF program. There's not been much communication in terms of where we are going with that, outside of telling us that the economy is recovering or we are turning a corner. We know the IMF program, best case scenario, allow us to attain some stability, but we need to move beyond that. We need to build the economy. We need to ensure that the economy is a lot more robust than it has been. So that's my hope that, the statement will focus on that.
Specifically, real GDP growth for 2023 was 2.9%, surpassing the revised target of 2.3%, driven by services and agriculture. The first quarter of 2024 saw stronger than expected growth at 4.7%, with the industry sector growing at 6.8%. Inflation, which peaked at 54.1% in December 2022, decelerated to 22.8% in June 2024, nearing the government's target of 15%. Fiscal policy is aligning with the IMF-supported program, with the government having drawn $1.56 billion from the IMF and expecting a fourth tranche of $360 million by December. This is coupled with other international inflows from donor partners such as the World Bank, despite local currency volatility. By April 2024, gross international reserves increased to $6.59 billion, representing 3 months of import cover, compared to $5.91 billion, which is 2.7 months of import cover in December 2023. These developments, according to Professor Esumin, will be enough grounds to further revise the government macroeconomic targets.
There's a strong possibility that may happen, even though this administration generally tend to be very conservative when it comes to giving growth projections. It always seems very averse to giving a high projection that may not be achieved. So there's a likelihood, given that, don't forget, the IMF usually projects a lower growth than what government projects. So when they revise this upward, you see the possibility of that happening. In terms of the other targets, the inflation target, well, we are there and thereabout. There's no strong signal that we should project a lower target than was originally announced. I think at the time the budget was read, we were in a major disinflation that seems to have stalled. So I don't think there's any room for us to think that the inflation target should be reduced.
Since the 2004 general elections, Ghana has consistently been missing its budget deficit target due to electioneering fiscal slippages. The situation was not any different in 2008 and 2012. The trend continued in 2016 as well as the most recent election in 2020 when COVID-19 related expenses further exacerbated the situation. But in 2024, the government is promising that it will ensure that such a situation is not repeated because it is mindful of the effects it will have on the broad economy. So next week, we expect to hear the finance minister outline specifically his action plan to achieve this. I am Ni Latte for CNR Business.